Hello, d'arrive, bonjour, and welcome to History and Language with Seán Thomas Kane. My name is Seán, and today we're going to be answering the question, what was the Renaissance? The Renaissance is one of those terms that is commonly known, but its meaning is not necessarily ubiquitous. The word Renaissance comes from the French word renaissance, which itself comes from the verb renaître, meaning to be reborn. Thus, Renaissance refers to a cultural rebirth. There have been many Renaissances throughout history, from the artistic, literary, and musical powerhouse of the Harlem Renaissance of the early 20th century and the Carolingian Renaissance of the 9th century that saw the revival of ancient learning in the court of Charlemagne in Aachen in modern Germany, to the Renaissance that my adopted city, Kansas City, is experiencing today. The Renaissance that I'm talking about was the originator of the term, the period between the late 14th century to the late 16th century in Western Europe. It was a time when the pre-Christian knowledge and writings of ancient Greece and Rome, long considered lost, began to be reintroduced into Western and Central European society. These works came both from the Eastern Mediterranean, with the influx of Greek scholars into Italy, especially to Florence, after the fall of Constantinople and the Byzantine Empire in 1453, and from old monastic libraries long locked away and forgotten. During the Renaissance, scholars rediscovered and began to study and write about such classical authors as Lucretius, who proposed the existence of the atom in his work On the Nature of Things, De Rerum Natura, in the 1st century BCE. The Renaissance also saw the adaptation of the works of the ancient Roman architect Vitruvius, whose models have ever since been used. While the Renaissance started in Italy and is most famous for the exploits of the Italian artists, writers, and musicians of the period, it spread northward across the Alps into the rest of Europe, changing the cultural landscape of France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, the modern Netherlands and Belgium, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Poland, Czechia, Hungary, as well as England, Scotland, and Ireland. Some of the greatest Renaissance artists whose work is still admired today include Michelangelo, Botticelli, Leonardo, Bruni, Holbein, and Dürer. The Renaissance also saw the creation of a number of great works of literature, from Machiavelli's The Prince to Sir Thomas More's Utopia, Erasmus's Praise of Folly, and Rabelais' Gargantua and Pantagruel. The period saw great progress in Europe in the sciences as well, with the first modern works of natural history such as Gessner's Gart der Gesundheit and Vesalius's On the Fabric of the Human Body, an astoundingly accurate book on human anatomy, and a really beautiful book too. At the same time, Tycho Brahe and Nicholas Copernicus were making great advances in astronomy, determining the place of the Earth in the solar system, and in the case of Copernicus, coming to the conclusion through a thought experiment that the solar system was heliocentric, thus that everything revolved about the sun rather than geocentric as had previously been thought. The Renaissance also saw the beginning of the European explorations to the far ends of the planet, with men like Columbus becoming the first European since Leif Erikson to set foot in the Americas, and Magellan, the commander of a fleet that became the first to circumnavigate the globe. On a less sunny side, the Renaissance coincided with the beginning of the European colonial conquests of the Americas, Africa, and parts of South and Southeast Asia. This is the period in history that I've chosen to study. I find the social changes during the Renaissance to be particularly fascinating. Today, we can learn a great deal from the Renaissance as we undergo a similar period of change, in some ways turning away from the ideals and values first put in place by these new thinkers, and through this rebirth of classical Greek and Roman culture over 500 years ago. Please be sure to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, and have a great day.